Well, welcome back to the closing table, everybody. We've got a great episode for you today. I'm excited for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, this is my dad, Charlie Lutz, Remax First Realtor for 30 years. So he's got just a wealth of knowledge and some great stories that he's going to share with us along the way. So, Dad, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, son. Yeah, it's funny. You know, when we started out this business a long time ago, remember we said we'd never say like father or son. And, remember we did that?
Yeah.
We said, because sometimes people,
you don't want to get judged for it, because we don't play favorites in business. And you're saved in my phone as Charlie Lutz, not Dad. For that reason, I've just kept you the same.
Yeah.
But let's start kind of a quick overview of your business. You've been in it for almost 30 years.
Right.
As a top producer pretty much the whole time, I would assume. You started in the 90s at Century 21 in East Point. Right. You were there for a couple of years, went to Remax first. The rest has been history. You've stayed there. So, let's start at the beginning of how you got into real estate and go from there.
Yeah, I was in the furniture business, for 16 years and worked all the holidays and worked crazy hours. And it was wonderful for me because it really gave me a lot of good salesmanship. It showed me the training was incredible. And it helped me when it comes to actually selling homes because, I'm not a decorator, but I know how to decorate homes. I know what fits, what doesn't fit, and so that I can give that same feeling towards our clients when we started out in the business. And so that's what we did, and then right in the beginning, we passed out flyers.
Yeah. So who's we?
Me and Crystal,
yeah,
my wife.
Your wife. You guys
and
built
my
it
kids.
together.
I mean, you guys went too. I mean, we went into areas and we made all our flyers, whatever was going on at that particular time, and that's what we put on our flyer. And then wanted people to let them know that we're realtors. That if you're thinking about selling your house, or you know someone that needs help, then call us. And that's what we did. And we passed out thousands of flyers. And there was times where we didn't get any phone calls for weeks, but then all of a sudden we started getting calls. And when I went to meet people, I felt comfortable because I've been doing it for 16 years selling furniture. So I'm just selling something else.
So before all this social media stuff, you were literally just putting your social media on flyers and passing them out by hand, running up and down the streets and putting them on the doors or the knobs, whatever.
And, put them right on the door. Sometimes we'd meet the people and say hello. And, we would never want to give people pressure. We'd always say, well, here's our flyer.
If knocking and trying to sell in person.
Never. No, here's our flyer. If you know someone that's thinking about selling or buying, give us a call.
Turns out it worked like gangbusters.
It worked unreal. Okay.
You ruffle any feathers along the way?
Yep. In the beginning, we did. They had all the farms. All the realtors had their farm areas where you couldn't go and mail other areas. Well, we busted that door down. We kicked that door right in. And, people were complaining, the realtors, and we said, listen, you can complain all you want. This is the United States. We can do what we want. We're staying within the rules, and we're going to run the neighborhoods. And that's what we did. And it helped us because all our business came from the flyers. All of it.
I know, 100% of it, yeah.
I didn't go and call my relatives and say, hey, I'm a realtor, sell your house with me. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't want to bombard people or feel as though I was invading their area, but I wanted to make sure people knew that we were out there, and that's what we did,
Yeah, and you got your start at Century 21, like we said. What led you, why'd you pick Century 21?
My father-in-law worked there, Doug Anderson. He was in the business for years.
Guy's a legend. Everyone that's been around for a long time knows Doug.
Oh, yeah. 10 kids, and he's a hustler. He was out there working all the time, and so I learned a lot from him. And, I was mentioning earlier, he said, whenever you go into a house, doesn't matter what kind of condition it's in, you have to find something good. Just talk about something good. The things that need to be improved, you can do that as you go. But in the beginning, you got to find something good because, people want to hear something good.
Absolutely. Yeah, human nature. So you spent like 2 years or maybe at Century 21, if I recall, and then you made the move to Remax.
I did.
Which was a claim. And then Remax first? Why?
Yeah.
What was the reasoning?
Well, Rob Schaefer was a salesperson over at Century 21.
See, I didn't even know that he was. I just thought he was the broker, and then you moved to him.
Yeah, no, he was a salesperson. And he decided to open up his own a Remax, and so that's what he did. And he asked, several people if they were interested, and of course, he's a smart guy, and he's fair, and he's good to work for. I said, yeah, I'll come work for you, and so that's what we did. We went over to Remax. And that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was saying earlier, things were kind of normal business as usual throughout the 90s when you got your start. Did you run into any trouble or whatnot when the crash happened? Because I didn't get in until after the crash, and I hear all the old war stories. How'd you get through the crash?
Well, I sat back one day in my office and I looked around because all the banks were calling saying, all the realtors were saying you have to work with a bank to get all the foreclosures, otherwise you'll be out of business,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, maybe that I'll try to do that. And so I did that. And I was doing some of the BPOs, the broker price opinions, and then you'd get that information back and maybe get a listing. But you have to go through all these channels to, it was so much work. And I thought, I don't know if I really want to do that. So I was with my wife one day by Connor 994.
Yeah.
And I was talking to your brother Chuck, on the phone. He was at the Marines. He said, Dad, what are you doing over there? That's a rough area. I said, yeah, well, the banks are forcing me to go over into this spot. It's a little dangerous.
Paid to do it.
They're getting paid.
Yeah.
So we went and I went up to the house, and the neighbor, there was, a couple guys on the porch in the middle of the day, they're all smoking pot. And, I said, fellas, here's my card. We're going to have this house on the market for probably a couple grand.
That's wild, couple grand.
So now they're
for
my
a
friends.
house.
Now
Yeah.
I'm their buddy, And so I was able to go in the house, and there was stuff growing on the walls, and in the basement there was a legitimate pit bull ring. I mean, right out of the movies.
Wow.
It was wood walls, and there was a carpeted floor. There was a pipe in there to pry the jaws open of the dog, and there was blood splattered everywhere. And God was almost tapping me on my shoulder, and I felt it. He said, this is not what I want for you. I want you to help the people. And the people are the ones that were losing their homes, and the banks were foreclosing on them, and people didn't know what to do. And so that's why when I went back out to the car and I told my wife, Crystal, I said, here's what this house looked like. She says, you're all done. We're all done with the banks. You're going to call all of them right now. We're not going to another one, and we're going to help the people. So we changed our flyer, and we did short sale flyers. We're here to help the people, and people called us. And so what we did is then we went into the homes, and I learned all about the banks, exactly what they wanted. How this program was going to work so that the people could sell their home at a reduced price and walk away and not owe any money. So I negotiated for the people against the banks, and it worked. It worked, and I think that the closing rate in our industry was like 32% or something like that on a short sale. Well, mine was in the 90s because I knew how to put the whole package together, and I knew who to talk to. And I just knew what to do because I called friends of mine that were bankers, and they told me all the ins and outs.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm negotiating with all the information that I know that they already want. And so I give them what they want, and it worked out. And people were able to walk away and not owe any money. So that was really rewarding for me, because 50% of the realtors were out of the business. They were finished.
Yeah.
Okay. And we were able to survive. We've always been very conservative. We don't spend a lot of money. I don't drive, I don't pull up at a house in a Mercedes.
No.
I'll never pull up in a car like that because you're pulling up in a house where you don't know what their situation is, And let's face it, most people don't want to pay a commission. They don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay? They'd rather do it on their own. But if you can find the right realtor that's going to promote and give you the excitement, this wave of excitement that you want, you end up getting more money, and the money that you pay the realtor is offset by the amount that you can get. And so
There you go.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into this at some point. We can jump into it now maybe, but I've learned, I've been at 15 years, and I've watched you do what you do for 30 years now. Every realtor's not the same. There are differences in the caliber and quality of realtors, and anybody can throw a house in the MLS and hire a photographer and put beautiful pictures out. But I find that the best realtors are the ones that when, the times get tough and the deals get crazy, they know how to deal with people. They know how to negotiate. Negotiations is a huge part of your business. Yeah. And I found, I'm trying not to be biased, but I've heard you on the phone. I know you're very, very good at it. I mean, how important is negotiating?
I don't do sales. I don't do sales scripts. I don't do scripting. I don't want people to feel as though they're being sold. I want to understand what they're looking for, what it is that they need to do, and then I just figure a way out how to get it done. And so I don't want people to feel like I'm selling them or pushing them or forcing them. There's enough pressure out there.
Yeah.
Okay, as it is on all sides. Sellers want to sell, buyers want to buy.
Yeah.
And it's not up to the realtor to make the decision. It's up to the buyers and the sellers. We're the voice, and we're a positive voice to bring in the goodness that the property has. Just like I said in the beginning, you have to find something good.
Yeah.
So when you're negotiating, you have to find what it is that is good that the people really like. And if you can get the buyers and sellers together, then it works.
Okay, yeah, because I've had a lot of deals where they just, as soon as it gets a little tougher, there's multiple offers or something. Maybe it doesn't work out all the time.
Right.
Is there any? What can you speak on about that? Is there any like secret, or what's your thought process when you're going up into those? Because
Well, first of all, if I'm the listing agent, I can tell right away if the agent's new or not that's making
Okay.
the offers. Because I ask questions.
and that's important.
Oh yeah, yeah. I ask them questions. A lot of times it's off the subject. I'll say, what they'll say. Well, I've got an offer for your house. Oh, wonderful, beautiful. What was it about the house that your people really liked? And I shut up. And I let them talk. Now they're telling me all the things that are important to that buyer. And so the more that they talk, the more information I
That
get. And
right
then,
there is part of the art of being good at what you do. And you're not the only one. There's a lot of great realtors that understand that concept. There's some that are new that would benefit from listening to this message.
Yeah. Our problem, I think, in sales is that salespeople want to talk the whole time, and they don't want to just be quiet. Because if you're quiet and you listen, the people will tell you exactly what's important, and then you can just
Play off of that.
you can put it together so everyone's happy. That's what it's all about. Everyone wants to feel like they got something, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it works in our business.
Okay.
But every day is a it's really we're really fortunate because my wife and I have never talked about numbers. We don't care what our numbers are. I don't care if I'm top 3, top 5. It doesn't matter to me. Every opportunity we just feel is so important. And I'll tell you, ever since COVID, we almost feel like every single house that we go into, we're not there to be the hero. We're there to learn from the people that we represent. There was one seller over in St. Clair Shores. I'll never forget him. His name was Jerry. He was an older man. He met us at the door, called us off the flyer.
Okay, yeah.
And we went in the house, Crystal and I, and he had Christian music going, okay, because we know the songs, and he had a breathing machine on with oxygen. He was like 78 years old, making it to the door, and we had an interview, and he talked to us, and in the end, I said to him, Jerry,
Now,
I
hang on,
know.
let me stop you there. When you go in and you're talking to a listing, a person who's going to sell their home,
Yeah.
do you go in with all this material and checklists, or do you just go with feel and gut and?
Yeah, I don't really go in with all that stuff, okay?
Okay.
Because I had talked to the gentleman on the phone prior, and he gave me an idea of what he wanted to sell the house for.
Yep.
And it was in the zone, as far as what I knew.
So
we
you
could
don't
sell it
have
for.
a listing presentation because I hear a lot of offices talk about that, like putting together your listing presentation. You don't do that,
Well,
or do you in a way?
I do. I send them something in the mail.
Okay.
Some information about us and our history, and that way they'll get a feel for who we are and what we offer them. And then when we go in, we make connections with people and we talk to them.
Perfect.
And
So
before we left, I said to him, Jerry, what's most important when it comes to selecting a realtor? And I'll never forget it. He owned a business, okay? And he looked me right in the eyes. He said, Charlie, it's all about the integrity. I never forgot that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm going to be here and I'm going to clear this whole house up. I'm going to get it all ready to go. And it was in the wintertime. And so we came back and I met him about a week later. He called us back and said, Charlie, I'm going with you and Crystal. So we went and signed all the papers and we went out in the backyard. And after we left, the backyard had a bunch of like leaves, you know what I mean? When you don't pick up your leaves. And in the basement, there was the old tile.
Yep.
And so what we did is that we put the house in the market. In the first week, we weren't getting any good response. It was all about, the basement has old tiles. And so I called him back on the phone. I said, Jerry, I think that we need to remove the tiles on the floor and we need to get the backyard all cleared up. And he said, okay, good. So he said, well, how much do you think it's going to cost me, Charlie? So we gave him a price, a very good price to do all this work. And he said, I trust you. Do it. And so we took the house off the market. We removed all the tiles. We painted the floor. We painted the walls.
Now,
in
when
the
you say
basement.
we,
Me and Crystal.
yeah, I think
Oh,
that's what I was getting at.
Oh yeah,
is
she works. What a
you don't,
worker.
you
Oh
do it
yeah.
yourself.
Oh yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
You know, and we went and cleaned up the backyard, cleaned the garage. We did all the work, got everything all going. We put the house back on the market, and it sold in 3 days. And he got 10 grand over asking, and it was from the work that we did. But he trusted us.
Yeah.
So you know, sometimes you have to put some effort in. And at closing, we came to closing, and his wife came in, and they were both in their 80s. She was holding him, helping him. It was just wonderful to see,
Yeah.
you know, two people that have been married for so long, and they accomplished something. It was, I think it was her relative's house, you know, that they sold.
Okay.
But, you know, and I'm over here thinking to myself, you know, we're trying to be these heroes and do all this good work, but when we see what people do in the background for themselves to get a house ready, it's just really important, you know, that we do our best job each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward, you've gotten through the BPOs, you've gotten through all that. How do you adapt and adjust to all this new stuff that these young kids are doing?
Well,
Because I remember there was a time where, you know, you didn't like it, you weren't
Right.
comfortable with it.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you know, I tell people I created a monster once I started telling you got to do the videos.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to, I know it's uncomfortable, I know it sucks, but you got to do it because this
Yeah.
is where the times are going. And
yeah, we do videos. We do live videos. I don't know if
they're hilarious. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't seen them, go find them on Facebook. And the energy and the stuff that he says it's hilarious. Everyone always is like, your dad's just wild. He's a funny guy. And I'm like, I know.
we try to be entertaining. You know what I do is that I go through these homes, and it's the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't script it. I don't think about what I'm going to say. You know, it's a total reaction. And so I go through the homes, and that's what I do, because I don't want to do all the groovy music. You know, all the
Yeah.
stuff is fake today. All the AI is fine. It helps a lot of people, but half the videos you're watching, they're robots. They're not even the real person.
Yeah.
They take their face and their body and and they whatever it is that they do, they make these robots and
Doing dances.
I just
You
don't-
do dances, real dances.
yeah, I do the real boogies.
Disco
yeah, I do a
Charlie,
little
yeah.
disco. Yeah, a little disco there in the back, in the basements. But
Yeah.
I have fun and I enjoy it, and I think that people they want the real deal. They don't
Yeah.
want all the fake stuff anymore.
Yep.
They're tired of it. You know, a lot of times you see these pictures that they put out. The homes look, you know, immaculate, and then you go and show them, and you know, they're a wreck.
Or the size. They got these lenses.
Oh,
You know, the room looks
gosh.
massive, and then you get in there and it's a closet. You know,
Yeah.
People talk about that all the time. You're not the only one.
Yeah, we want to be real. We want to be real with people, and because that's what they want. You know, they just want you to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can feel it. They can pick up on whether they're being sold to or reading
yeah.
off of a script or. So that's why you make a mistake. Who cares? We're all human.
Oh, yeah.
But your integrity and what you put forward, they're going to pick up on it.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
feel the same way in my business too. I just try to be myself, and when I make all these calls, I've never used a script once, and guess what? I've screwed up some calls, guys. It happens. I'm human.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
get nervous. I say something stupid, or
Yeah,
it happens.
Well, you know what's funny is that a lot of the realtors, you know, they're real good when it comes to the computer stuff, and that's all fine and dandy, but they can't hold a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know, this is all about being, holding a conversation with people and get them excited about whether they're buying or selling. It is an exciting process, but it can be draining.
Yeah,
you know?
nerve-wracking and draining. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. So let's talk about. I know you've flipped a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Because I've helped.
Oh yeah.
I always remember. I don't know if it was your first one, but you remember it was next to that house that burnt down, and they spray painted "I passed" on the side. What was the name of that street?
I can't remember right now. I can't remember.
Is it Hereford?
It might be. It might.
I don't
be
know why
right.
that rings a bell, but yeah, I
It might have
remember.
been.
Was
It
that
might
was that your first flip?
The
you
very
did?
first one was Hereford in Detroit, up by the east side of Detroit.
Yeah,
on Hereford
right by the
Street.
freeway, I think.
I think so.
Towards
oh, yeah.
the end of the street. Yeah,
Remember that?
I
Oh,
do.
I know.
when we were little. So how many houses do you think you flipped over the years?
Probably. I'll take a guess. Maybe 30 or 40.
That's good.
Yeah.
You
something.
just to keep yourself busy always, right?
Yeah, we enjoy it. You know what I mean? We can take the home and you buy it at a good price because you got to make all the improvements.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of funny, that house on Hereford, we bought that one, and then we fixed it all up, sold it, and then I took all the money and I saved it. I didn't go and blow it.
Yep.
And I used that for the next one. And that's how we've kind of done it, and we haven't gone out and bought boats and, expensive cars and all
No,
that.
you've always
No.
lived just middle middle
Yeah.
class, middle of the road, nothing fancy, and
Yeah,
I've
'cause we got
noticed that.
kids. We got kids. My wife's got 4 kids, and I've got the 2, so we got 6 together. So we got all these grandkids, and so somebody's always in need somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Right? And so we're in the business to not only to help our clients, but also our family. So that's what we do.
Yep. So when you're flipping homes, what are some of the sides that people may not think about that, if they're thinking about flipping homes, what can you warn them about or get them excited about?
Experience. You got to have experience. You got to know what you're doing. You got to understand what these repairs cost. Everything right now is outrageous in price. And I have got electricians, my brother-in-laws. I got 3 of them that are master electricians, and so they do all the work for us. And you got to have good people, that are going to give you a fair price. But everybody, they all want to get rich. Let's all buy this house, and we're going to do all these repairs. And then they start doing the job, and if they don't know what they're doing, you can really tell that the work is not well. And,
You ever have one of those houses where you kind of bit off a little more than you thought?
Well, we've always had some repairs maybe that we didn't think about. Each house has some kind of repair on there.
Something hidden, you didn't see it coming.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it just happens.
Yeah.
So I've always had the mindset that I can walk away from a property just as fast as we walked up to it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not imperative that I buy one, but you want to buy it and they're usually wrecked. You know what I mean?
I remember,
They're
yeah.
wrecked. I mean, they're all full of stuff. You got to get dumpsters, and so this isn't like getting a regular house at a reduced
Right, and just
price.
finishing the floor and repainting it. No,
Yeah.
I remember it's total gut jobs on some of them, and
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you're going to have some accidents. You're going to spill some paint. You're going to do some things that
Your kids are going to spill some paint.
Of course they are. Yeah. So
Yeah.
but it's all good. We always want to be ready for anything that hits us.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, these are all like little roadblocks. You want to be able to get around them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Any other stories that stick out in your mind, whether positive stories of helping people like that older couple,
Yeah.
or stories where maybe you came across something like the pit bull ring in Detroit?
Hey, one time, I don't think I ever told you this. We were passing out flyers years ago in the middle of winter. We were in Roseville. I'll never forget it. We were in Roseville, me and Crystal. We had, parkas, the boots, everything.
Yeah.
Because it was freezing out and there was snow, real deep snow. We had goggles on, the ski goggles, and we had these hats with these long things on it.
Pure determination.
Oh, yeah, we're out there.
Yep.
And so I'm out passing out flyers, and all of a sudden, this dog, it was like a rust-colored dog, jumped on the fence, scaled the fence, and jumped over it and attacked me, right? And there was a pickup truck, one of those Z71s.
Oh, yeah. Chevy,
And,
yeah.
Oh, thank God. I was younger then. I jumped up on that thing into the bend, and that dog and the owner came out, and it was like, he was calling for the dog, and I was upset, okay,
yeah.
because but then after a while, I'm running, down the neighborhood. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I saw my wife across the street. She looked like a monster. You know what I mean? We got this, so I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe that's what happened with the dog. You probably thought I was some
God,
kind
yeah.
of monster,
Oh, yeah.
an alien, and came after me. So
There's been numerous dogs that have chased us off of porches over the
Oh, my
years.
gosh.
I remember sometimes because we used to run,
Oh,
legit
yeah.
run. Now
Oh,
I
yeah.
just walk 'cause I'm too bad knees.
Yeah.
But I remember running up onto a porch and just there'd be a sleeping dog right off to the right, and you don't know it until you're on top of him.
right.
It's the scariest moment. I mean, you're talking about running and jumping rails to get off that porch before the dog gets you.
Oh yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah. That's up with the real estate. You never know what you're going to get each day. It's going to be
Yeah.
a different day, but you gotta really be disciplined and plan for it. A lot of times people want to go on their boats and they want to do all this fun stuff, but that's when all our business is in the summertime.
Yeah.
So we've never really done that. You just got to be available for people when they're ready.
Yeah, and not to say that you can't enjoy life. There's
Yeah.
people out there that have earned it. You worked hard, you earned it. You want to travel, go travel.
Yeah.
Do your thing. But at some point, you got to stay focused and determined, or else you're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What other kind of stories you got?
Gosh, I don't know. We do things differently.
I've always noticed that.
Yeah.
You guys never proverbially drink the Kool-Aid anywhere. You go in, you keep your head down, and you go to the office to work hard and then go home when the day's over or when you're done. You've never been a rah-rah, go to the events and the bars drinking with the team.
Yeah.
You just work. That's why everyone says, like, Charlie just comes in and goes in his office and does his job, and that's it.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I got enough kids. We got kids and we got grandkids. I'd rather spend my time, doing stuff with them. And it's not to say that I don't, want to hang out with people that I work with, but I really don't. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not going to sell
And
them a
there's
house.
nothing wrong with it. It's not 'cause
Yeah.
they don't like them.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell them a house. They're not going to use me as their realtor,
Yeah.
So, no, I just, even our neighbors, I'm not like a neighbor person. A lot of times people are neighbors. Hey, have the neighbors come over and hang out. We don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't have time for it, and I would just rather hang out with my kids or my grandkids. That's what we do.
Yeah.
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 So, hey, in mortgages,
Sure.
I'll get back to your mortgage thing. There's a lot of mortgage people around,
Yeah.
okay? And a lot of the realtors are trying to connect with mortgage people. Mortgage people are trying to connect with realtors. The main thing is that I just want someone that's going to do a good job. And whether it be you in a situation, because I get pre-approvals from different mortgage companies all the time.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that, you're telling me the truth. Be honest, because I have to tell my clients information that you're giving me, and I just want the right information. So how do you give the right information? And there's a lot of information. How do you know what to give? How do you know what to give out? Because you can't give out all the info.
Right. You're only allowed to say so much. But what they really want to hear is that you have personally reviewed the credit report. You have personally seen and reviewed the W-2s, the pay stubs, the bank statements. And what we really look for if we're diving into it is not just that I saw them, like, oh, here, they're in my hands, but I've gone through them. I've seen that there aren't any weird large deposits. There aren't any reoccurring transactions that are going out each month for the same amount, because sometimes people hide child support under the table. I mean, we've ran into everything over the years. So I try to review everything thoroughly to catch problems. We're looking at the W-2s or the tax returns to make sure that their income is steady, stable. We're looking at current pay stubs and calculating the year to date against what their hourly or salary should be to make sure, hey, it's matching. It's not short. If it's short, you got to talk to them about it and say, what's going on. And they go, oh, yeah, 3 months ago, I took a few weeks off. Something happened.
Right.
That can, especially now with variable income, that can kill deals real quick.
Yeah.
So you really got to tell the realtors, like, I've been thorough. I've looked over everything myself, and it's been ran through the automated underwriting system, and we have a full legit pre-approval.
I can tell you what makes a real big difference as a realtor. When I get like a multiple offer situation and I get all these offers that come through, first thing I look at is, of course, you look at the price, what the offer is, but the next thing is the pre-approval letter. I mean, it's so important. And, Mortgage One that's a major league. Okay, you guys are major league.
Yep.
And so it's not like some internet company 800 number that's, over in California. A lot of times when you get those, they don't hold the same strength as a Mortgage One. So when I get the pre-approvals for local Mortgage One, whether it be you as a mortgage guy or one of the other people there.
There's a lot of Mortgage Ones around, and
Yeah.
we're very well known. That's why I started at Mortgage One. I tested the waters, a few other
Right.
places, and I came
Yeah.
back.
Came back,
I
right.
came back.
Oh, yeah, it's a quality company, so
Yep.
that's a real big factor, Just like Remax, people, so many different realtors, people don't want to pay certain fees, and so they want to, go with certain companies. But the good realtors are with Remax. They're paying an office fee every single month. So they're out there hustling and they're working hard. They're not just showing up to see, where they're going to go to lunch to today. They're there to work. So the Remax, whether it be me or one of the other people, especially at Remax First, because we've got 6 different offices. There's one in Rochester, Royal Oak, Clinton Township, Chesterfield,
St. Clair
St. Clair
Shores.
Shores. I mean, Clinton Township.
Yeah,
we're
he's
all over.
grown.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and
Oh,
not at
yeah.
a crazy pace either. I mean, it's been a long time, but he's
Yeah.
added offices. He's done a great job. Rob's
And you
a
know
good
what?
guy.
Everyone's trying to add people. They're all trying to add people, all these different companies. So if you want to go to a really good company and you want to, really stand on a solid foundation, the Remax First with Rob Schaefer, I mean, you can't get any better than that. The guy,
Yeah.
he's as good as it gets. And he's fair, he's honest, and he'll give you good rates, per month.
Yeah.
And you can negotiate an office, you can negotiate a side room. There's all kinds of different things that you could get, depends on what you want. But
And it's for us, like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And other places aren't bad. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
But for a certain type of agent, that is a great office.
I mean, it's like when you walk in and you have a Remax, that Remax, logo. That's heavy
It
duty.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
They
just
take
like
a lot of pride in it, and it's a worldwide.
oh yeah, so it helps.
It
helps.
does.
Yeah.
Definitely. So let's talk about, have you made any mistakes along the way that you can own up to and say, yeah, I did this, and you know what, it turned out to be a bad decision, or I messed this up and I learned from it?
It's funny. I had a lady. We're so used to doing the same thing over and over and over again that when a particular subject comes up, we kind of already know the answer. But sometimes you have to, go slow with your clients and let them understand the whole process because everyone's different. Some people don't want to know what the process is. They just want to get their check at closing and sell their house and move on. But some people want more information. And so sometimes I have to slow down a little bit, because I'm going 100 miles an hour all the time. Sometimes I just have to slow down because I've had a couple of sellers over the years, and they said, Charlie, I'm going to give you a little words of wisdom here.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit because I need a little bit more information before I make this decision.
Okay.
So I do. So you have to adapt to your person that you're taking care of. And that's not always easy, but I mean, that's what we're here for. It's not about us. It's about them. So we've always focused on the people, and so you got to find out what their personalities are like. And some people need a little help. Some people don't want help. So it just depends on what you got going on, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah, on the fly.
You got to figure it out.
Fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The sooner you figure it out, the better off you are.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, we are a certain type of personality, and
Yeah.
sometimes I don't deal very perfectly with your A-type engineers. Because
Yeah.
I'm like you. I'm excited. I like to talk fast and give everyone all the info. But some people they don't want that.
Right.
Just tell me the number.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to talk. I don't want pleasantries. I just want the number.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else is important to you out in the world of real estate that you want to share?
Gosh, I don't know. It changes so often. It's constantly
How so?
changing. Well, the rules are similar, but the values go up, they go down. There's all kinds of different things that go on. You got to stay up. And the office that we work at, they're constantly training, they're constantly giving us information. And so, we just got to, the main thing is that Crystal and I have always said, our business comes from flyers. So we run the flyers.
Still.
Oh yeah, we sell a house. We smash the areas with postcards, letting people know that we just sold this house, and we put them door to door, and we run the neighborhoods. I got a little sore knee right now, so I put a little ice on it as we get older,
Yeah.
and just keep moving. And it keeps your body strength strong, keeps your mind sharp, and so that we're getting a good workout along with making money,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it's all about. That's why you're in the game.
Yeah, everyone wants to make some money, and so, but the problem is that there's so many realtors right now that are trying to make it, and the majority of them are having a rough time.
Yeah. Same on my side. Mortgage, when especially when rates dropped to 3% or whatever at the beginning of COVID, everybody got into the mortgage game because it was easy. I mean, if you had a pulse, you could sell a mortgage at that point.
Oh yeah.
But then rates went way back up to 7, and a lot of mortgage guys, they didn't make it. They
Right.
left.
Yeah.
And we still haven't fully rebounded back to where we were prior to when all that happened. But it's starting to. Do you feel like it's getting a little bit better?
A little bit better. I think what happens right now is they got all these pyramid systems where if you're talking to a realtor and you think that that's going to be the realtor that's going to be your voice and throughout the whole process, but it really isn't. You're dealing with that one person in the beginning, and then everything from that point, when it comes to the listing, you're dealing with like the people that they hire. Like the little pyramid system.
Oh, okay. So
So-
you've never done. Yeah, I've noticed that you've never hired assistants
No.
and teams. It's just you and your wife.
Just me and Crystal.
That's
Oh.
it. You handled everything about the process, beginning to end, negotiating paperwork, everything.
Everything. Oh yeah,
Okay.
we do everything. Yeah, so I want to be aware of everything that's going on. We have when a phone call comes in and there's showings, I have office staff that takes care of all that stuff. But anything to do with the client, whether you're a buyer or seller, they call me directly. And we answer the phone probably 90% of the time. And if we don't answer, we'll call right back.
Yep.
So I want to be the one that they're talking to. I want to be the one that hears all the information. And that way I can direct everything the way I think it needs to go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, where do you see real estate going? How do you're probably gonna? You said you're gonna keep doing it. You'll never really retire. You might slow down on your effort, but where do you see real estate in, let's say, 10 more years?
Well,
Because you've seen a lot.
yeah, it changes all the time. But I think the main thing is that people right now are worried about this AI stuff. Like they're going to take over everything.
Yeah.
And I don't really worry about that. Okay, I don't worry about how many homes I'm going to sell next year. I don't have goals like I need to sell this amount of homes. I get up every day and I just want to do the best that I can. And however it falls in place, it falls in place. Because we've been very conservative with our spending. I don't owe anybody anything. And so I'm not under any pressure at all. And
Yeah.
you know what sellers say to us? Charlie, they've a couple things. I need to sell my house right away. Okay, there's one. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Other people say, I don't want to leave any money on the table. I'm not under any pressure to sell my house. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't sell, then that's perfectly fine too. Well, that's good. I mean, everybody, you put your house in the market, you all want it to sell. Okay,
Right, yeah.
obviously. But the people that we deal with, sometimes they don't want you to feel the pressure that you have to sell it. If people like it and it's priced fairly, it's going to sell. If it doesn't sell right away, we can make some adjustments. But most of them sell within a week. They still are selling.
Okay.
They're still selling.
Do you have any for ones that aren't selling? I mean, it basically just comes down to price, typically, right? Like if it's not selling,
Sometimes.
you just got to lower the prices. There's something else in there that people don't really realize.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do certain things. You have to do some painting. Today it's tough to find anybody. You can't find anyone. No one shows up.
Right. Or the good ones are just booked.
Yeah, or who you hire, whether it be a painter, an electrician, a plumber, you're talking to somebody at your door, and then they show up with 5 people that you don't know who these people are.
I am.
Okay, you don't know where they're from or any kind of background, and sometimes they're not always the quality people. Okay, you want to know who's coming. We do all the work. We do the work for the people. So if they want something done, I've got one in St. Clair Shores right now on Gladstone. They moved up to Traverse City because their job transferred them.
Yeah.
Now I'm meeting them next week, and we're going to go through the house. We're going to do some drywall work. We're going to do some painting. And when people see me and Crystal show up, or even you guys come with us, some extra side jobs, they go, "We didn't think you were coming." I said, "Oh yeah, I've done many, many homes. We're professionals. We know how to do all the work." And so what we do is we show up, we get the work done immediately, and then we put the homes on the market, and the people sell them for what they want, or sometimes they even get more.
Yeah, that's huge because I know for a fact I've had deals that I've seen die because of small FHA repairs, scraping and painting, lifted cement, handrails, and everyone gets all up in each other's. Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna make it? You guys just go fix it.
We fix
and the
it.
deal closes.
Oh yeah,
I remember as a mortgage guy once I had to go and do cement work.
Cement
Because
work.
the realtors weren't going to do it. Everyone's bickering and fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And I just said, screw it. I said, I'm going to go out there and buy some cement, mix it up, smooth out that crack to make it not a trip hazard anymore. I'm not replacing your whole block. I'm just
Right.
smoothing it out. Went
Yeah.
out and did it. And a couple days later, a guy went and checked it, said, yeah, you can close now.
Oh yeah, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, drives me crazy with people that are just let a little $50 thing kill the whole deal.
I think what happens is that in this business, the longer that you're in it, you forget what it was like when you first started.
Yeah.
We work every single day like it's our first day. And it doesn't matter if it's a house for $100,000 or $1 million. We treat everyone the same.
What's the, I don't know this, what's the most expensive home you sold? Do you remember?
Like in the 700-800, I think.
Really? Okay.
I think it was 800 was the most expensive one. That was one in Troy.
Yeah.
And it was to a past client, that we had sold his homes in the past, and so we sold their condo and we sold.
What about the doctor guy over off of on the water? I remember. I'm not going to say anybody's name, but do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I can't remember.
I thought he was like a doctor, or he's in somebody, and he had that really nice place right on the water, the 2-story with all the glass windows around the outside, and he was selling it.
Oh, yeah. That's a friend of mine.
How much was that? That had to be pretty.
Yeah,
but that was years. That was a long
years
time
ago.
ago.
I think that was in
Yeah.
the sevens. That was in the sevens.
Okay. But your
So
bread and butter is, middle of the road, right? St. Clair Shores, Clinton Township, East. There's just nothing special, nothing bad, just mid
yeah.
action.
Well, it's kind of funny because we've had people that call us from all over Michigan. We're licensed in all of Michigan. We just sold one up in um, uh, over there, almost by Alpena. Okay, there was oh yeah, almost by Alpena.
Did you drive all the way up there?
We
And
drove right up there. We
yeah,
had been going up there. It's a place called Greenbush,
okay.
Michigan. It's right there on Lake Huron. They had a hotel, and my brothers and I would stay there every year for deer hunting season. And the people knew us, and we always kept it spotless clean. And we left. We made sure everything was spotless clean. And then she called me up and said, "Charlie, unfortunately my husband passed, and I want you to sell the motel." And
Wow.
right there on the water. It's beautiful. We just did it this year. And so we went up there, Crystal and I, we talked with her, and she had some things she had to get done, and we helped her. And then we put it on the market, and she goes, "Charlie, I don't, it's all about the trust. I trust you, and I trust Crystal, and that's why I know that there's realtors up here in this area." She said, "But I know you, and I trust you, and so we want you
And
to
it could
sell
have
it."
been something as simple as making your bed after you leave. Something so simple, but having the respect for the owner and
Oh, yeah.
that simple. That's what put you above everybody else in her mind, maybe.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that we left it the way it was ours, and that's how we are when it comes to real estate. We want to treat everybody as though they're a relative,
Yeah.
and their family. And so we just want to do a good job.
Yep. Did that NAR stuff, the lawsuit, impact you guys at all?
I don't think it really. I mean, nothing really impacts us. I have to tell you, when they make these statements. I remember my father-in-law saying to me, "Charlie, when everyone's in an uproar about something, don't dwell on it. Just figure out how to work with it and then move on." And that's what we've done. I haven't really.
Do you have any like different conversations or sellers or buyers like focusing on that and kind of questioning you on it after it became like public knowledge? Because at the end of the day, nothing really changed.
No,
It's
nothing
always been
changed.
negotiable. It's always been, but like the
Yeah.
media and people made a big deal about it, and I think it got in some people's heads, and I've a lot of realtors, talking about how they've been impacted and what they have to do and how they have to
Yeah.
change their spiel.
Yeah, not really. I mean, maybe if I was a new realtor, it would be different, but I've been doing this for a long time. I get people that call me. Um, I don't buy leads. I don't call people. I don't do all the things that all the realtors do to
Yeah.
get business. We just run flyers, and we deal with our past clients, and you know, I
Makes
don't.
it a lot
Yeah,
easier
it makes it
to,
easier for us.
yeah.
People just call us, and I'm 64, but I still feel good. I still feel like I'm young, and
Yeah.
I've got strength, and God blessed me with wonderful family, and so we work hard. We work hard every day. You
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on your mind?
Gosh, I don't know. A lot of times people say to you, "Hey, when are you going to retire?" Retire for what? I don't want to sit around. If you sit around and retire, you end up getting sick and
Yeah, you
not
don't
being
really
able to move.
golf or
I'm not much
sit
of a
on,
golfer.
or you don't like to relax.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I like to
Yeah.
move. I like.
Other than hunting, which drive two things that I would have never pegged you for.
Yeah.
Because I know your personality. We're a lot alike.
Yeah.
You're really good at poker,
Yeah.
and you're really good at hunting, which both take an immense amount of patience and just sitting still and being quiet for a long time.
That's
It,
right.
it blows my mind because I can't do those things. I've tried both of them. I can't get into it. How
Yeah.
the heck did you figure out how to settle down and enjoy that?
Well, I think what happens is that you're going 100 miles an hour all the time, and you've got a lot of responsibilities because we're like a quarterback on a football team.
Yeah.
We're either going to get all the praise or you get all the blame, one
Yeah.
of the two. And when it comes to the real estate, we're just real thankful, when people call us.
Was it a certain time in your life where it finally clicked and you actually started to be able to enjoy the time in the deer camp and the sitting,
You know,
8
when I-
hours at a poker table? Because I'm sure when you were 25, 30, you probably couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, the poker is kind of like a real estate a little bit, Real estate, you got
playing the mind game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're good at that. Yep.
Yeah,
So
you
you
gotta
enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah, the other realtors when they come with their offers, they're coming You could tell some of them are scripted. You know what I mean? They try to, say certain things that they've heard other people say. I'm
So
not.
trying almost like bluffing people. Yeah,
Oh
it's a card
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a card game. A little
Okay.
bit of a card game at
Interesting.
times. And sometimes you're standing on a good foundation, where you've got a bunch of offers coming in. That's a good place to be in. But if you don't have a lot of offers come in, then you got to roll the red carpet out for people
Yeah.
to make sure that that not only the house sells, but you can sell it for as much as you possibly can. It's kind of like a poker game a little bit in a way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you do for your fun? Because I know you.
I ride bikes. We ride bikes all
You
the
do?
time. Oh my gosh, we ride our bikes all the time. Crystal and I, we're constantly going here and going there, 10, 12 miles. Sometimes we go on 20-mile bike rides. And it's just, you're able to breathe fresh air, breathe in the fresh air, breathe out the fresh air, and it's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a very stressful business.
Amen.
Okay, real estate, all aspects, the real estate, the mortgages, the people that are taking the photos. It's very stressful because people want everything done perfect. And you can do 9 things for somebody perfect. And if there's one thing that doesn't go perfect, they let you know.
Yeah, they like to dwell on that.
And
yeah.
the funny thing is that when people get a little bent out of shape, it's not that they're bent out of shape about you. It's that they're overwhelmed. And the stress from selling a property can overtake people real easily. So that's why when we go in, we try to give everybody an avenue where, yes, we're going to make a commission to do this job, but we want to do something for you that's going to take all the stress off of you and put it on our shoulders. And that's how we're able to sell some of these properties. There are certain things that we see in these properties that some realtors don't tell the people about because they don't want to get them upset or they don't want to throw them out of their house. Get out of here, I'm not doing that. We give people options. You can do whatever you want. If you want us to do it, we'll do it. If you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything. So we leave it up to them. We take all the pressure off the table. And then if something needs to get done, we go immediately and do it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've had a great episode here. If you guys have liked listening to them, you want to connect with you guys, you and Crystal, how do they get a hold of you guys? Other than just obviously Googling you, call your cell phone.
Charlie, cell phone, 586-202-3487, thelutzteam.com. So, we're pretty easy to get a hold of. You just punch in our name, you'll see all our stuff pop up. And then, we'll come right out. Free. We don't charge anybody. If you want a free analysis, we'll tell you what your house is going to sell for. If you want to use us, you use us. If you want to use somebody else, then that's perfectly fine too. But we'll gladly take a few minutes out of our day and to help people because that's where the business comes from. One day today you're going to help somebody. Maybe down the road they'll help you. Who knows?
Yep. Best way to get is to give.
That's it. Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming out, and this has been a blast.
All right, James, go get 'em.
Yeah.